Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indiehub, a beautiful place filled with clowns, majestic creatures known as AAA developers, and conferences that didn't really hit the point for some people, but they did for me. Spoiler alert. Hello, everyone, and welcome to. Oh, wait, I almost messed this up with forgetting to mute myself on the live stream. There you go. I am your illustrious host, Kinda Jesus. Hello, everyone. Yes, indeed, it is me, Skinny Penis. And joining me today, we have my tag team partner, Jinpachi.
Hello, I'm here, back.
And
Unbanned for now.
yeah, unbanned for now. We're going to be talking about that. That's how we're going to be opening the podcast. But before we do that, let's also give a very big round of applause to our IMDb partner, us.
It's me. Back by unpopular demand.
Backed by unpopular demand.
You can't get rid of me.
All right, so let's address one thing first, which, quite frankly, just brings our mood completely down. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been really hard keeping all of these people's moods when it comes to making podcasts and content for our stream. It makes this really hard to lift their spirits up. I'm of course talking about the YouTube demonetization system. Well, the YouTube algorithm in general. For those of you that don't know, this is the fourth podcast in a row. The fourth podcast in a row where it either ends abruptly because we got community guidelines striked, or it finishes the stream and then we get community guidelines striked, and we have no idea why. I don't think I can be more specific than this, because there's no way we can be more specific than this. We have been consistently changing our language, changing our background music, changing our actual background, changing our thumbnails. We've been changing everything we can possibly change because we have no idea why we get cut off in the middle of the goddamn live stream. In some streams we didn't slur, in others we did. We get community guidelines striked anyway. In total, I counted them. We got 7 community guideline strikes out of 19 episodes. And as you can see, we're only on episode 17 because some of them we couldn't even get back. And this is why we don't even have a music on the background to begin with. No royalty-free music or anything like that, because at this point, we're just afraid to even sneeze. We have no idea why we got this. No idea. We only get an email saying that our video got deleted and nothing else. It doesn't say why. It doesn't say in which instance. It doesn't say the reason. No, it just says, hey, your video got deleted. Fix it, cunt, apparently. And it's really hard for us to pour our work into this, because we're trying to be a journalistic style podcast where we just discuss some news related to video games, and for us to do all of this work, for us to find the news, research the news, double check the news, and make all of this work, hours of work, that are then transformed into absolute nothing, is really demoralizing for us. And we're not asking for your help. We're just giving you what we're gonna do next. So, without further ado, here's 2 new pieces of news coming from actual Indiehub, not really video games. The first piece of news, and the most important one, is YouTube is gonna stop being the only platform where we're gonna be streaming. Because if it happens again, we want to be able to show you our live reactions. and discuss about it, because I think it's really important to shine a spotlight on that. So we're gonna go to Twitch, and possibly later we're also gonna be going into Spotify. Do we have a specific date on that? Maybe. I'd say in a week or two.
Do we have a specific date? Maybe. Maybe we'll unrelease. That's all we'll say.
Maybe. Maybe. We don't know.
Because
The definite leadership that we have that really puts us.
Because that kind of goes to our second reason why we're saying all of this, because we're gonna kind of rebrand. We're not gonna get the Indiehub name out or anything like that. We're rather gonna do a image revamp. We're gonna change the background that you're seeing right now to a more suitable background to our channel. We're gonna do the header of the YouTube page, and we're also gonna be doing the profile pic. We're gonna do a smooth transition into something a bit more professional and something a bit more us than a general idea of what we have. I've asked for a commission to a person that draws, my girlfriend, if you want to be more precise, to do all of that.
A person that draws. An artist.
An
Somewhere.
artist, someone would
artist.
say.
An independent artist that has nothing to do with Indiehub.
Yeah, we don't even know who this person is. It could be anyone.
It
I've
could
never
be
seen
anyone.
them,
It's
so
a very
honestly, they don't
anonymous-
exist.
Yes.
They don't. It's actually me. It's gonna be just a drawing of a giant
It's
penis.
it's just
Yeah.
it's just KJ with a wig.
It's just me with a wig. There you go. Yeah, I'm dating myself. Regardless, we're waiting on that commission, and when we do that, when we do have that commission, that's when we're gonna be doing the jump, just from YouTube to YouTube and all the other platforms we can be on currently. We don't know Spotify exactly yet, because it involves other stuff other than I just want to do a podcast. Spotify actually needs to check if we are an actual trusted source. Spotify needs to evaluate us and stuff like that. So it's not just we want to be on Spotify, please, because if that were to be the case, everyone could be on Spotify. So we don't know if Spotify is going to be able to squeeze us in, but hopefully they really do, because I always wanted to be on Spotify. It's my platform of choice when it comes to listening to music and podcasts, so I would be grateful if we could be there. Just wanted to throw that information out there as to why you're not seeing consistent streams, because I know that some of you do watch this post stream as in a normal podcast, and that's why sometimes you miss an episode. It's because we get community guidelines striked, and quite frankly, we're just absolutely tired of it, and we have to do something about it. This is what
I'm so tired of striking the community.
Uh,
Just keep punching them, and I don't know why.
we do this for fun, but we wish to one day be taken serious, and our actions need to speak louder than our words. And if they're basically using our butts for something that we're not going to say because it's against community guidelines, apparently, I did read them. So we're just going to go ahead and I almost fucked that up and switch platform.
Yeah. I don't think it's against community guidelines to say that YouTube doesn't have any clue what they're doing.
Oh,
since
no.
They exist.
If we get
That's not against community guidelines. That's just the truth. I'm sorry.
Well, regardless, let us start.
Slander.
Let us start with the podcast, shall we? All right. Why don't you start this one out, Oz?
I would love to. Obviously, if Spotify doesn't work out, we'll make a deal with the Epic Game Store.
Yes.
Speaking of them, that's my segue. The Epic Game Store is having a summer sale. Its summer sale is a little bit like smaller choices of games than other like PlayStation and Microsoft, but I think that's because they have a very small, concise group of games. Disco Elysium, Jedi Fallen Order, Red Dead Redemption 2, SnowRunner, Maneater, Control, Outer Wilds, Satisfactory, and Shadow Tactics all are on discounts. The highest amount is 85% off, and the lowest is 10% off. So if you have the Epic Games Store and you don't want to check the Steam summer sale, there you go. Just remember, you got to buy them one at a time because they don't have a cart.
That's. I totally forgot about that, dude.
Yep. That's why they have less games, because you can put less in the cart.
How do you not have a goddamn cart?
Because you have all of the money. If you guys want to rein in about the summer games, there you go. Those are the ones. The one that I would be most interested would be Jedi Fallen Order, but I already have it.
Okay, so why don't you just go ahead and give a few specific details on some of the games you just mentioned, on the percentage.
Oh, sure. I just closed that window, so let me reopen it. So Disco Elysium is 25% off. Jedi Fallen Order is 50% off. Red Dead Redemption 2 is only 20%, but still, if you don't already have it, good reason to pick it up. SnowRunner is 20% off. Maneater is 25%. Control is 50%. If you've never played Control, play it. It's so good.
Do it right now.
50%
off
now.
Is really
50% off. And you don't have to worry about getting confused because you only get one. You get to buy one game at a time, so you could be like, "Oh, that's not Control." Outer Wilds 35%. Satisfactory is only 10%, but it was already a cheap game, so yeah. And Shadow Tactics is 85% off,
which is also a really good game.
It's really good that no one played, and there's a lot of samurai stuff going on. That's a good reason to buy this one. Okay,
so for me, the definite MVP here is Control with 50% off, Disco Elysium, and Shadow Tactics. Shadow Tactics is a really cool game. If you like that genre, Disco Elysium, I'm going to be honest with you, might just be my game of the year from last year. And it's an indie game.
Wow.
Yeah, you really should. You in specific, Shinpachi. You can run it on your potato maker.
That's some infamous last words for every game you've said that.
Yeah, so, but if you look at the game, if you
Press
can't
X.
run that game, you can't run any game, period. And Shadow Tactics and Control, as this magnificent individual over here said it. Absolutely incredible game. Really good.
Shadow Tactics with 85% off is amazing. That's a great discount.
And Jedi Fallen Order is basically Star Wars Sekiro. Get it. If you don't already if you like Star Wars at all, you'll love this game.
An actual Star Wars game that's not shit, basically. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah. And isn't it doesn't involve Palpatine at all. Okay, he does say 2 lines, but he's not suddenly comes back from the dead. He's not dead yet. Spoilers for the worst part of the new trilogy.
Take that as you may.
I love the new trilogy. Don't like that one.
Blizzard doesn't have a cart either, Jalvai. That's because there's not enough games on Blizzard to justify a cart. I mean, I'm pretty sure that whenever you're gonna buy Modern Warfare, you're not gonna be like, maybe I need this too.
So Blizzard doesn't have a cart because it's technically always a cart. Because every game is listed there, you just go onto their tab and you click that you buy it.
Yeah.
So it's so it doesn't need a cart because it's always there.
It's super
You get to
small,
decide what game you want to buy.
regardless. So there's no need for that. Just like Raven said, I don't think there's a need for a specific that. And boycott Xbox my ass.
Boycott Xbox!
Jinpachi, why don't you go ahead and speak about the next news? We're kind of speeding this up because the main event is definitely what Jalvai hated the most about this week.
Boycotting Xbox.
Go ahead, Jinpachi.
Well, I was going to say we might, if this doesn't work out on YouTube, we might switch to Mixer, but they're dying, so,
No, they're dead. It's not they're dying. They're dead.
They're officially dead, yeah. Meanwhile, this week, they actually died.
F's in the chats.
In June, Microsoft made the very sudden, surprising announcement that Mixer was gonna die. And after, hiring big shot streamers like Ninja and Shroud, well, now they're gone. They're closing doors in less than a year. after Ninja and Shroud came over and made this huge war for the streaming world. And as of July 22, the Mixer service has closed, and now the alternative is Facebook Gaming, which no, just no. So
they should.
This is sad.
They should.
Twitch has sort of this monopoly now.
Yeah, they should
just what it
rebrand
is.
themselves to Karen Book. I think
Karen
think
Book.
it's a very good decision.
Because here's the thing, now technically YouTube and Facebook are like the competitors, but YouTube is never a live stream focused service. It's an on-demand service with live streams, and Facebook is just a boomer place. So it's just like Twitch has no competition.
Well,
That's basically it.
I disagree slightly with
I
you.
realize that I'm saying YouTube isn't a live stream thing when we're doing a live stream on YouTube, but then again, well,
Yeah, I was gonna
we're having
say,
we're having a lot of problems with that right now. So
Yeah, that is very true. But here's the thing. Even though it's not the primary focus from YouTube's side to do live streaming, they do have live streaming. And they happen to be the media that's the biggest in the world right now.
Yes.
If you compare actual numbers on Twitch to YouTube, if you include also videos from YouTube, theoretically speaking, YouTube is the biggest streaming platform out there because it also involves videos, and videos pull. There's literally hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of views being had every single day, which means that on Twitch, if you put all the streamers together, it's not even going to count to like what 5% that YouTube might have. You know what I'm saying? There's a big disparity between actual numbers being pulled. I get what you're saying in streaming wise. I think Twitch still wins, but I don't think the difference is as big as you might think. It's way easier to find a stream on Twitch, but in compensation, there's probably literally hundreds of thousands of streams right now on YouTube that's probably pulling even hundreds of thousands of views. We don't know.
Well, I think one of the best things about this news is that we're already talking about YouTube and Twitch and not about Mixer. So that gives you the idea about Mixer. I'm sure some of you in the chat, or the first time you've heard about Mixer, is that it was dead. But for one thing that YouTube does, I think, better than Twitch in streaming, even though I think the tools on Twitch are better, for partners and for associates, it's better. But YouTube doesn't have a limit for how many video, it saves that as a video, and provided it doesn't take it away because of the community guideline strike, it's there to gain more people. On Twitch, you only get a certain amount of days, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Unless somebody
30
clips
days.
it. And then you only get a certain amount of clips. So...
Yeah,
So-
we're being silenced. We talked about that right in the beginning of the podcast, Chalvan. We definitely told the individuals, and I'm going to repeat again, we're also going to be moving to Twitch and maybe Spotify, if not right now, in a near future, hopefully. As soon as we have the commission that I asked from my girlfriend done, which is going to be a complete revamp of everything Indiehub related except the actual name. Are we shadow banned? No, we're not, because being shadow banned means that you don't even get notifications as soon as we go live, in which we actually do, because I'm with my alternate account right now, and my alternate account is telling me that gave me a little notification that we went live. So we're not shadow banned. We're just being community guideline striked left, right, center, and nipples. It's that simple.
Bombarded.
Yeah. Well. Moving on, I guess. It's time
Moving
to
on.
talk once again about Microsoft. It's going to be a kind of reoccurring theme over here. Because we talked about Mixer. Mixer is Microsoft related. And now we're going to be talking about a very cool meme. The meme that is Mountain Dew.
Delicious.
Now,
And by that, I mean, I hate Mountain Dew.
I actually tried it, and
I don't like soda,
I
so...
never tried Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, Shinpachi. You know Fanta, obviously. You know Fanta, right? It's Fanta with
Fanta.
way less orange in it That's kind of how it tastes. That's the best way I can explain that. And it's not that
Well,
bad.
it would help when it's not an orange soda.
No, but it tastes like
It's a
one.
lemon lime soda.
Yeah.
It's basically Sprite, but more.
No. It tastes. It tastes like a fruit, so it's not Sprite. Sprite just tastes like water that farted. But Mountain Dew is not that bad. Well, regardless, when you think of Mountain Dew, you think about one video game in specific. That one video game.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
Halo. Halo.
I thought Call of Duty, to be
It
honest.
was the very first sponsorship that Halo had, and basically the only one that they had for years and years now.
Lunchables.
Huh?
And Lunchables.
And Lunchables. Regardless, Mountain Dew and Halo have been a partnership like me with dark shirts, because I don't know what other types of shirts are. But just like me, that started using some more white-collared shirts and gray shirts, Halo decided that, you know what, it's time to move out of the edgy face and the edgy memes, and it's time to actually go into a multinational brand. And so they decided to start a partnership with Monster. There you go. That's the news. It was a slow week, okay? It was.
Well,
gotta
the
look it up.
Mountain Dew craze.
So basically, if you've never had Monster, where are you from? But it's basically Mountain Dew, but more.
No, it has
They have just been stepping up their game. Eventually, they're just going to be like, yeah, now Gamer Fuel's just pure cocaine. Just cocaine.
It's
with
kind
some
of
sugar
close
in
to
it.
it. It's kind of close to it. Maybe that's why I have
Caffeine
the
is a stimulant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, it's a slow news week. Okay, fuck you all.
It is. It's a very slow news.
It's
I
a very
tried.
sad week.
Yeah, it's a very sad
Yeah.
week. Well, let's go into the next one.
All right. Speaking of Microsoft, still, this is just we're the Microsoft press conference stream time. Nailed it. So Halo Infinite is a game that's coming out. And we'll talk about more about the game itself later, but like there was a rumor going along that the multiplayer was not going to be part of the main package, which if you think about it is a stupid thing to say. Like obviously wasn't the case. But then 343 basically the community director just basically tweeted, "Nothing to see here, folks. This is not true. So there will be multiplayer." In case you were worried about that.
Okay,
That's
so
literally all about that. That's all there is.
the rumors that Halo is not going to be shipped with multiplayer, they don't come out of the blue, because I don't know if you guys remember, there's a certain thing called the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why the Halo Master Chief Collection was basically reworked on its entirety? Because it's not the first Halo Master Chief Collection. Do you know why, Hans?
Because it didn't come with multiplayer. I know.
Exactly. How do you release a game that's basically known for its multiplayer? Yes, the single player is not bad. I'm not saying that. Big Halo fan over here. I wouldn't be saying that.
But the single player is better when it's co-op.
Very true. But the main standpoint on the Halo games always were this idea of a competitive side from Halo, aka multiplayer. And when you ship a game like a collection of your favorite Halo games in one package, and you goddamn don't promise multiplayer with it because you broke it, I definitely understand, the community's fear of another Halo not being shipped with goddamn multiplayer, because it seems like even apes would understand that you would ship Halo with multiplayer, because multiplayer, you don't do that to the community. So I understand people's fears, but at the same time, I think they learned their lesson there. I'm pretty sure Microsoft got a huge backlash from that. And
I do have I do have a theory about probably what was happening with that. Like what they might have heard that made them think that. A lot of times with Call of Duty games, what you can do is you can decide to either install the multiplayer first or the single player, and they might have heard that
True.
oh yeah, you can choose to have the multiplayer first, or you can choose to have the single player, and for some reason a disconnect happened, and people said, "Oh, it's gonna be a separate thing." I'm like, no.
That's
my only.
That can be possible, yeah.
Yeah, that might be a plausible theory. I think you might be onto something there, Oz. But regardless of the facts, it's 2020. If a game known for its multiplayer is coming out, I'm pretty sure companies wouldn't be as dumb as to be like, haha, we released the game that you wanted for years now. But it's early access. Oh, wait, no, they do that. No, I forget about it. Yeah, no, forget about it. I think this one in specific, however, is kind of dumb. Microsoft is definitely trying to get brownie points for what they're doing. They're really going, gamer first, community, corporate later. They have this very big mentality right now of trying to appease to as many people as they wanted because they know they fucked it up throughout all these years. So they're shifting away from being corporates to being a hub for games, basically. And for them to do a mistake like that, I don't think it's plausible. Jibachi, any more remarks to this?
No, we can move forward.
Okay. We move forward to you, actually.
Yeah. We move forward to Bruce Wayne making more money. Because he doesn't have enough of it. Batman Arkham City. It's an old game. Well, it's not old, but, for us it's old. It's been like 10 years. I'm old.
I think it was like 8 years, right?
2000 and...
It's a PlayStation 3 game.
2000, yeah. 2011?
11. 9 years,
yeah,
okay.
so 9 years, or almost there. Oh my god. Okay.
That was like 70,000 years ago, right?
Yeah, 70-something, probably.
Arkham Asylum
in the current
10 years
timeline?
old. Jesus Christ.
And it still looks beautiful as hell.
Yes, it does. To me, it's still my favorite superhero game ever. Anyways, it's
Arkham
also
Knight.
a lot of people's favorite because it sold, according to Warner Brothers, that this week released some data. Arkham City sold 12.5 million units, generated 600+ million in revenue. By February 2012, they had shipped over 6 million games. So that is a lot of money.
That is a lot of
one
money.
bat to make. And yeah, Batman is one of the hottest properties ever. That's why we have movies and games that are endless. And, keep them coming. I love it. Batman, man.
Batman is a really cool game.
I don't like Batman.
What?
I don't like Batman.
You don't like Batman Arkham City?
No, I actually like the game. I'm not saying I don't like the
You
game.
don't like the character?
I do not like the character of Batman.
Oh. Because I think it's, super serious and...
No, it's not because it's super serious. No, it's just the concept of the character annoys me.
You don't like
super rich man could solve all the city's problems, but instead of solving the problems by, diversing that wealth into the people that could use it, he's gonna beat up the people.
See, the problem I have with that argument is that doesn't make any sense in real life, because no matter how many money you give to people, there's always gonna be assholes. I mean, what's gonna stop money from having a giant crocodile invade fucking...
And not
Right.
only that,
clown.
and not only that, if you don't like Batman, then you don't like superheroes. Because if you're looking at reality in all superheroes, I mean, rich Iron Man decides to build a goddamn robot to fight crime instead of giving his billions to all of them.
I understand the principle of, millionaire Bruce Wayne should do things for the city. I understand
Billionaire
that makes
Bruce Wayne.
sense.
And he
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah.
He does.
But that
later
said,
stages.
saying that you should do this instead of fighting crime is not, he should do both. Because redistributing wealth just means it's more money for bad people to steal.
And he
I
does
disagree,
redistribute.
but,
And he does redistribute wealth a lot in almost every comic. In at
Yeah,
least one of
I'm
the
not
issues.
saying that he doesn't do
So-
charity, but I'm just saying he doesn't really fight the systematic causes of crime. I just don't like the concept of the character.
That
I also
is true.
don't.
That is true. He does not fight the systematic problem.
He does not. He just fights the people, and then like it's kind of like, first of all, just like the whole concept of he's not lethal and stuff like that is kind of stupid if you think about actually what injuries would be. But like, yes, I understand that like the crocodile and like, you know,
The penguin.
like the penguin, like the people themselves, like the supervillains, makes sense. I just think Superman is a better hero. I feel like Superman, even though he's like godlike powers, is a far more human character than Batman ever becomes.
I gotta lend you this one in specific, Shinpachi. You're gonna.
Which one is
this
it?
One. It's Brian Azzarello. I never get the guy's name correctly. It's like a more realistic the depiction of what Joker would be, and so like every panel. Let me see if this is.
Is
okay.
it like the one he rips his face off?
Yeah.
Lovely.
So like the
We're gonna get flagged by copyright right there.
well,
Well,
my girlfriend did buy this for me, so I do own this copy,
don't-
so I think it's fine.
you own the copy, you don't own the material.
That's true.
That is the law.
That's true. But like,
well,
we
actually,
weren't.
just touching-
The point of this podcast is not to talk about that particular
Just
comic.
touching on one
I just
thing,
don't
is
like
that-
Batman. I
Yeah,
prefer
yeah.
Wonder Woman. I prefer Superman. I do not
actually-
like this insistence that Batman can prepare for literally anything, and like, sure.
He is plot armored godlike.
Yeah, he's plot armor, and basically like, it's just to me, it's really the battle between Superman and Batman is never like, Batman would have all the time in the world to do that. I'm like, yeah, but to me, their ideals of how to solve the problems is like Superman doesn't go and like beat up criminals all the time. He mostly is just like, he spends most of his time being like the newspaper and being the person, and then becomes Superman when it's something a human cannot do.
Yes.
And that is far more interesting to me.
One of the more interesting issues with Superman games and especially movies recently is that they just can't make. I don't think Superman right now is interesting, not because of the character, but because they don't know how to make him human. They just make him like a
I was
god
gonna
in
say
every
that.
single
That's
damn
the
movie.
thing. It's the main issues in Superman stories, that the ones that I really enjoy, and I think most people like them as well, is not whether or not he will win the fight, because Superman wins the fight. That's kind of his thing. Is he has unlimited strength in terms of what he can do. But it's whether or not he should fight, if that is the best option. And I just think that's a more interesting story rather than, how is Batman definitely going to win?
But you never know if Batman definitely
Yes,
wins.
you do.
No.
Yes, you
The
do.
best issues from Batman is actually from
He's
Batman
lost
losing.
sometimes.
For example, when Bane literally found out who he was and broke his fucking back in half, and
Lovely,
destroyed
great.
everything he
You
wanted.
really adopted the dog.
That issue ended with
born in
Batman
it.
losing, or
Yeah,
at that time.
But
where
how did
Joker-
that story arc end?
But the story arc ends with Batman losing more than he wins. At the
I
end of
mean,
the day,
the story
he
arc of
loses.
Superman dying.
Yeah.
The story arc of Superman dying ends up with him coming back to life. So
Yeah,
they always have to make it a positive.
Comics
ultimately.
always have to be positive, but that's the best part about Batman. For example, on the issues where
fiction in general,
Joker literally killed Robin, theoretically Batman stopped him, but the emotional damage Joker did to him, combined with the psychological defeats that Batman had, is the real standpoint of that Killing Joke. Why do people like the Killing Joke? Because it's a open-ended idea that Batman really lost. It's not as simple as Batman always wins, because no, it's wrong. It's wrong. But the chat is right. We're talking about comics and when we should be talking about video games.
Yes, this became a
Yeah.
comic podcast. I'm sorry.
That could be another podcast.
Yeah, that could be another podcast. on its
Patreon
own.
goal for me to. It's just me saying
Comic
why this
Hub.
character is better than Batman. Literally every character.
All right.
Squirrel Girl is a better character than Batman.
Squirrel
Super
Girl.
Dog.
Squirrel Girl.
It's a great.
To finish this off, okay? Squirrel Girl, in a unofficial Marvel released issue, literally beat Thanatos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true, that's true.
That's-
What's
you
your
mean
thoughts
Batman.
on Iron Man? Do you think he's like Batman, or do you think he's?
I don't
More-
like Iron Man either for very similar reasons.
Alright.
Okay,
But
at
he
least you can
typically
see
Yeah,
uses
that.
his suit to
I was
fight.
wondering if.
He typically uses his suit not to fight like the people on the ground, but more of the
Yeah.
like larger enemies, and that's just more of what Marvel does separately from
In
what
general,
DC does. So like that's more of a genre thing. I'm like he does a little bit more in my mind with his resources. He just tends to always fuck up.
All right, so
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's move on
Moving
to
on from the
our
comic.
main event. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the man that doesn't care about the conference itself because he thought it was meh, Jinpachi.
Yes.
And on
Xbox.
the other
Rest
corner,
in peace.
we have the podcast host himself, the man that's doing a really weird voice to introduce himself for some goddamn reason. I really don't understand why I'm doing this. KJ, the fanboy.
And then there's me, the referee, who is completely in the middle.
Yeah, there you go. And then we have the referee. Yeah, it's a round of applause for the referee.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right. So with that being said, I kind of spoiled a little bit our impressions on it. I want to start this in a little different way on how we usually do this. I want to start by asking your opinions in general of what you thought the conference was, rather than just going on to every single point of the conference itself. Let's start with our thoughts, and then let's dive into, because I want to start this because I want a perspective. I want you guys to have a different perspective on how you perceive these conferences, and maybe that can help you understand why I really liked this. Okay, so let's start with you, Oz, because you're the middleman. You're the guy that didn't think was the greatest thing ever, but also didn't think it was.
I prefer these types of conferences when they just kind of show us games. And instead of just, doing those weird live events where they bring bands out and speakers and no one cares, and I don't know why they do this.
So a Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, like a Ubisoft conference where they do Just Dance and announce it for the Wii. I swear we're going to be in like the year 3000. We're still releasing Just Dance for the Wii.
Yes.
But like I don't know. It was more of I just wasn't like over like for any of the games rather than the conference itself.
Mm-hmm.
The conference itself was showing games, so I thought that was good. I just wasn't jazzed like
Before-
all the time.
Before we proceed to Jinpachi's thoughts on it, why don't you guys drop it a little like downstairs? I notice people don't do that. I'm gonna personally come to your fucking house.
Like, comment, subscribe.
I'm
give
gonna-
us your children.
Yeah, I'm gonna very gently knock on the door. Your mom is gonna open. I'm gonna be like, I'm a friends of X person. I'm gonna come to your room. I'm gonna suplex you, and then I'm gonna say, like the goddamn video. Move on.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna, go there and I'm gonna, take your mom out for a nice meal, have some conversations, and become your dad.
Yeah! Wow! Yowie wowie!
And I'm gonna be adopted, so I become the favorite son.
We're just gonna,
Everything.
we're gonna screw up your life.
And I'm gonna
All your family's ruined.
and I'm gonna
Suplex you.
and I'm gonna hop right into your goddamn television and pretend I'm a Teletubby so that I can say that you should like the goddamn video. Keep going. Chimpachi, come on.
Yeah, well, I thought it was, I sort of share my opinion with Oz, just maybe a little bit more negative, or not negative, but more like, just indifferent to everything. I just thought that it wasn't as interesting and it didn't have as many games with the wow factor than PlayStation had. And so I don't think it made a lot of buzz, and, could have been way better. But I think the problem with Microsoft and Xbox in general is that right now, PlayStation just has better exclusives all around. And that's been something that's been going on for over a decade, so,
Yeah,
it's
I do agree a little bit with the exclusive parts. At the end of the day, are going to be hurting slightly more on Microsoft's side. But, okay, so here's the point I'm going to try to bring, right? Because I see a lot of people saying that Microsoft's conferences don't really show the power of the Xbox or the power of the next generation of games. And to a certain point, I do agree with you. But here's what I think Xbox or Microsoft is trying to do right now. I don't think Microsoft is necessarily trying to sell you a new console. I think Microsoft is trying to sell you their games. They're trying to show off as many games as they wanted on their platforms, which also includes PC. That's the thing. Because when you go see Sony's press conference, most of those games are not going to be in anywhere else but Sony. They own the monopoly there. While you go into Microsoft's side, and you have games that are coming on PS5 and Xbox, games that are only coming on Xbox and PC, games that are basically games. And that's what I'm trying to have people shine a spotlight on. I really like Microsoft's press conferences because they focus on on giving a spotlight on thousands and thousands of views, because by the time I was watching, it had more than 135,000 views on Twitch alone. And those restreams and those IGN stuff and stuff like that, it's probably more than 500,000 views in total, easily. By
the way, they had, if I'm not mistaken, they also had like a Mixer live stream, and no one was watching it. No one was watching on Mixer.
They thought it was dead.
They
something that was owned by the company of Mixer. They weren't watching it.
They're not trying to hype you up like Sony is. They're just trying to show you what are the next games coming over. Because if you go and see the conference itself, you go on to a Sony conference, you see the new Ratchet and Clank coming out next year. You see the new Horizon coming out next year. You see this game coming out next year, or doesn't even have a date. Microsoft, most games that were shown there, they're either coming in the next few months, or they're coming very soon. Which really leads me into believing that Microsoft is not trying to win the console war. It's trying to win the games war. As in, every single... And to further my proof, every single game, and this is something really positive for me, every single game that's coming on that press conference that we're going to be talking about, every single one of them can be played both on PC and on Xbox, except one game. But thanks to Xbox Game Pass. And I think that's their main focus. Because if they really wanted to make half of those games exclusives to consoles, some people would complain, but they would accept it. But instead of that, they're rather tell you, hey, listen, you can play it on PC, you can play it on Xbox, you decide. We have a monopoly in both regardless. Just have fun. Just buy the game or buy our Games Pass. It works either way for us. And I think that's the main point I'm trying to bring here. Sony's conferences work as a way for you to buy their games on their console. Xbox's conference, in my eyes, works as a way for you to get excited for some of the games in general that are coming out, and maybe you'll buy it on Xbox Game Pass or on PC or maybe even on console. Their point is they're trying to be more gamer friendly rather than the corporate friendly. That's
I'm gonna make a counter argument for that. Well, not a counter argument to what you're saying, but more of a cautionary tale of the Wii U. Wii U had fantastic games, really, truly fantastic games, and they were all exclusive. No one bought it,
but they're not.
I know that like they're not really exclusives because they have PCs, but I don't really know why then they are making the Xbox Series X.
Because there's not enough power for okay. So a console is for someone that doesn't have a big PC, big money for a PC. Because let's face it, PC Master Race is technically the best thing to play games on, right? But it has its problems. And when you buy a game on a console, you know exactly that game can be played on that console. Except if you're Switch and it happens to be a few ports. Regardless, the point is
amazing.
The point is, you know why you're buying a console. And I think Xbox's idea is never to buy a console. It's never to buy the next console because they know most people are.
So what you're saying is that they gave up on that battle?
Yes,
they accept that Sony's just gonna outsell them, and they well, we're just gonna make games then.
Yes, I do, and I can prove that.
So they're becoming a Nintendo, basically.
Yes, basically.
Well, that's so sad.
No, that's not, because, can I be honest with you? Out of the three, Nintendo is by far my favorite.
No.
I like Nintendo games. There's a seal of quality with Nintendo.
I love Nintendo, and I love Nintendo games, but, I don't know, I just think that you should always have the ambition to do better, not only in your games, but in your console as well.
But the console, when it comes to its specs, are kind of head to head. But But
I do understand the point that what really ultimately matters is playing games,
and I think
you should focus on having good games. And PlayStation also wins because it has great exclusives. It's not just because it's a great console. I get that.
Yeah.
So
But
I'm a little sad that Xbox just sort of went downhill.
When it comes to market,
that's never good for the market.
Solely when it comes to marketing their consoles, because here's the little kind of what's the proof of what I'm saying. Because back a few years ago, when the Xbox One was on its lowest, the best part about one of the conferences was the fact that Microsoft has acquired 15 independent studios, 15 independent studios from the very best there were, right? And everyone up until now were afraid that those independent studios were only going to develop games for a specific console. But Microsoft is doing the extra great work of saying, no, they're working out under our name, and they're coming both on Xbox and on PC. They still hold a very big monopoly, because remember, Xbox is Microsoft. Microsoft is Windows. So theoretically speaking, a PC is a Microsoft console, almost. Like, it's not really, but
an exclusive thing, yeah.
So by allowing them to be on PC too, you're getting the great plus on gamers, because they're like, yes, we get to choose which platform we're on. While it's also creating an opportunity for them to actually go ahead and focus way more on games and giving windows of opportunity to other indie developers, which I think is great. And that's why I really love the Switch, because you can find so many good games that you can play anywhere. And Microsoft is kind of going on that direction. And I think that's why I'm more excited for an Xbox conference than a Sony conference. I might even get a PlayStation 5, but at the end of the day, those were basically nursed on Sony's ideals, on Sony's, cone vision. Microsoft is not thinking that. Microsoft's just thinking, just go big, just put your games everywhere.
I do think it's a mistake, though, and I'll tell you why I think it's a mistake. Because the major, in terms of developing games, it is very. I would say it's actually more difficult to develop well for a PC market than it is for a console market, and the reason is because PCs are so varied. You never know what everyone's graphics cards are. You have to make sure that a baseline of people can play this game. If you focus on that, and I'm not saying that Xbox or Microsoft's not thinking about that. I'm just saying that I think when you have something for the PlayStation 5, it was made, especially if it's an exclusive that was made specifically for the PlayStation 5. That they were made with that in mind. They know exactly what it can do. Exactly its limitations, how you can get around that. You can see what other exclusives have done. And I just think that the exclusives that come out for PlayStation end up being just if you look at just what just came out, Ghost of Tsushima. I know I've been talking about it even in the meetings.
Yeah.
It is so optimized for how a PlayStation 4, even a PlayStation 4 Pro works, because they knew from the get-go it was this. They had their own engine. It was the Havoc engine. I think it was the Havoc engine. They have their own engine, but now they might be moving to Unreal Engine, which is actually probably a good idea. But it's made with that in mind. Meanwhile, on Xbox exclusive, you could go right into the hardware, but you cannot guarantee that everyone's computer is going to be able to do that. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of computer ports that are awful for no reason. And Arkham Knight is an excellent example, because that couldn't run on a very good console. I mean, my computer is very good, and I'm playing games that are easily played on PlayStation 3, and for some reason, they're just not optimized for PC, because PCs are hard to optimize for. You have to really work on that. Now, maybe they're working on stuff. I don't know. It's until these games come out, I don't know how they're going to go. But I can say pretty well that a PlayStation game, the PlayStation 5, when I see that game, when I see the gameplay, I'm like, that's going to be more like what I'm going to do when I'm playing the game. I know it's going to look and run similar to that. Probably it's spruced up because of trailer stuff and editing. But it can, I know I can get a very close experience. I don't always know what that's going to be on a PC or on the Xbox, because I don't know. They're like, oh, it's running on Xbox Series X, but is it? Because I know when they said that for PlayStation 5, they're also relying away until.
But I can counter argument that yes, I do agree that it is easier to develop a game for a console when it comes to you're gonna have across all PlayStations around the same frame rate and stuff like that. But it's actually way harder for a game developer to produce a game with high graphic fidelity on a console. Well, if you're talking about AAA developers, right, you got to realize that a Ghost of Tsushima, you, the user, have a sort of guaranteed that your experience is going to be exactly the same. Exactly the same. Sorry about that. Exactly the same as your friend or as your grandma, because grandmas play games these days. But when it comes to the developer side, it's a way harder task to develop, because if you're going for graphics fidelity, you're going to have the very big limitations of hardware, because that's a big thing moving forward. Hardware. Yes, the game looks pretty. Yes, the game is incredible. But in order for you to make that game on a console with that fidelity, you had to take shortcuts. Not shortcuts. You had to utilize very secret and very smart ideas on how to get around the limitations of a console. For example, the rendering of a cone in 90 degrees instead of rendering on a 360 degree ideal. And maybe if you look quickly behind, you get a pop out, or it renders to a specific point. those limitations do not exist on PC, and that's why it's really hard for a game developer to do on PC, because there's so much you can dive into that you can't on console. However, here's the thing, Oz. The Xbox is coming closer and closer to a PC when it comes to coding itself, which means that what you're saying right now is less and less of a concern in the future in relation to right now. Right now, if you play Red Dead Redemption 2 on Xbox, chances are you go into your PC and it might not work that well, even though your specs are better than an Xbox. However, that is coming closer and closer to not existing anymore. That's why I'm going to tell you I think it's too soon for you to cast that judgment to most of the
I'm
games
not
that you
saying that
saw.
I'm casting judgment. I'm wary of it. I think that it will prove to be a bad choice overall. Again, I'm not a PlayStation I'm not a fanboy of any system. I prefer PlayStation systems mostly because of their exclusives. But like I like video games, so I actually think it's great that I can play like Psychonauts 2 on my PC, and I can play Avowed on my PC. That's great for me. I'm happy about that, but I don't think buying all these gaming studios, and I don't think it's good for Microsoft. It's good for the gamer, but not for Microsoft as a company. And I know that like that seems to be a positive thought. Like you need to think about the community more than the corporate. But corporate is the things that there's got to be a balance, and I think Sony is better at that balance than Xbox is. And I think having too many lines in the water with all the studios they're buying, I think we're going to get some subpar stuff. I think it's more likely we're going to get a lot of shovelware, or not shovelware. That's not my point. I don't know. Like I said, I like that they did focus on games in the press conference.
They bought the developers, but the developers did come out and say they have total creative freedom when it comes to what they do. So if it is shovelware, it is up to the developer's fault, not the company's fault. They do have.
Oh, and I agree, and that I'm not saying that like that the corporate people would be the ones trying to do these things. I'm glad they have creative control, but there's also
Okay, so one more thing Raven says. Yes, sell your games by making you pay X money every month. Raven, every single game that's going to be on the Xbox Game Pass, you can individually buy them if you want. You don't need to.
Still can do that now.
You don't need to do the extra money a month, but I think it's really cool that you have that option. In my opinion, I pay every month. I do get a fairly good price, €4 a month on every single time I get my Game Pass. €4 a month for more than 150 games I can play, and we're not talking shovelware games. We're talking, we're talking about games like Outer Worlds. We're talking about games like Forza. We're talking basically it's less than half of a World of Warcraft subscription for almost infinite amount of times the content that there is in that game. I mean, games like the entire Halo Master Chief Collection, the entire Gears franchise, State of Decay, which I really don't like, Sea of Thieves, No Man's Sky, so many games that you get literally for €4 a month. And it's probably $5 or so on the American side.
It's about like $7 a month. That's really not that bad.
It's really not that bad when you think about it. And if you're telling me that I pay €10 for the Games Pass, let me just say this out loud. But no, I'm paying $4. And for them to say every single game, every single new game I might add, that I saw on that conference that might or might not excite me, including games like Halo Infinite, Fable, etc. We'll get there. For the price of €4 a month, that's a steal. And they add games every month. It's not like this is the only games they're going to be adding. Just this week, they added 3 more games. Golf with Friends.
it's the gaming market becoming, like
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah,
It's just how it evolves.
Golf with Friends, Carrion, which is a really cool indie game,
Yeah.
and Forager. I mean, 3 games that I can play right now if I choose so. I think it's a
Well, you
really...
can't do Forger yet, but I did pre-download it. So.
What?
Forger comes out on the 28th, but
Oh,
you
okay.
can download it now. You can download it now.
Yeah, but my point is, so many games and at such a good price. It's not like they're asking you $50 a month. Come on, give it to me. You know? No, it's really good. Moving on, let's talk about each game individually. I don't think we're going to be having that much to talk about when it comes to games individually. Some of them, we don't know that many details about it. Others, we do. So we're going to be talking about them. Starting off with a negative. There are 3 main negatives I have from this conference specifically. And when we get to those negatives, I'll talk about them. This is definitely one of them. The fact that there were, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games were announced on the pre-show. And the pre-show,
Yeah.
no one sees the pre-show. Let's be honest. And those that do, they're there just to kill time. And for you to get some of these games, and one of these games, I got really pissed because I only got to find out about it way after the conference, like a day or so after the conference, and it's probably one of my favorites of the entire conference. For them to go out of their way to just show these games, I think it's doing a disservice to some of these games. Starting off with Dragon Quest XI. Echoes of...
They're basically saying these games don't matter.
Yeah, which it's really not that. At least for 2 of them, which we'll get to that. Dragon Quest, basically the Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition, as you're the Dragon Quest guy.
I love the game. It's very good. It's very long. It has probably the best post-game material content in any RPG or any game I've played in the past couple of years, and that includes games that I would say are more fun, but it has so much content. You can get this game so many times, and I don't think it's going to see that much of an improvement on the new hardware. It already runs beautifully.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that this is... I mean, I think it's a good idea to get it to an... I would not even say it's a new audience, because you can already get it on Steam. So it's interesting that they put it there. I think it's to more court the Japanese players, because Xbox really struggles in Japan.
Yeah, and you get it for free on Xbox Game Pass, wink wink.
Yeah, and that's great.
That's great. Coming up next, we have Exomecha. I don't know how to describe this to you. Imagine if Crysis decided to be Battlefield. I think that's the best way I can describe this game. It looks very... It's not going to work for me. That's how it exactly looks for me. It looks like it's...
It's a free-to-play online competitive first-person shooter with fighting massive robot bosses and a unique battle royale mode.
Yes, it's basically Titanfall, but it looks better than that,
Yeah.
but not to the point where I'm going to say I'm going to invest my time on it.
This looks like a corporate game to me. It's like, all these things are popular. Let's just...
I highly advise
it's a
you...
battle royale. The kids love it.
Calm
Kids
down,
love
boys. What's that game? What's that movie with big mechs fighting giant monsters?
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. The mechs
Yeah.
look really like Pacific Rim, and they actually have swords.
It won't be like there's not a reason why people like these things. I'm just saying, like, that is this is not a creative idea. It might be, but it feels more like a mandated thing
It is. But
Yeah.
but my point is, I don't like the shooting and I don't like the graphics, but it looks really good. It really looks good, but not for me. That's my point. Okay, so coming up next, a trailer for Watch Dogs Legion. No one cares. Goodbye. Coming up next, we have Echo Generation. It's a voxel-style adventure game that looks really cute. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks cartoonish. It looks fun. It looks like it's not taking itself really serious, but at the same time, it's trying to tell a story, and it has kind of that Stranger Things vibe a little bit.
That's actually
Yeah.
I'm on their website for all the different games to look at them, and that's what they say.
Yeah, it's shaping out to be a really cool game, and
It was one of the ones that interested me the most.
yeah, and it's
I'm
on
not
the
gonna
goddamn
pre-order, but
pre-show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pre-order something like this, but I'll watch when it comes out to see like gameplay videos.
You don't need to Xbox Game Pass, wink wink.
No, I know, but what I mean to say, when I say I'm not gonna pre-order the game, what I mean to say is, I'm cautiously optimistic, and I want to see it actually being played by a person, not by a trailer or by a.
True. I support you there. Jinpachi, anything else to add?
I want this. Stop putting on pre-show, goddammit.
Yeah. Next up,
That was
we have the biggest surprise for me, actually, almost by far. Hello Neighbor got a sequel.
Yeah.
Hello Neighbor 1 really wasn't greatly received, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's more of internet trends
It was
than it
very
is about
popular.
actual content.
It was popular, but popularly
It's a very
hated.
popular game.
You can actually download the Alpha 1, and that's
Was
how
it?
Hello
I didn't
Neighbor
get that
was.
vibe.
Hello Neighbor 1 was basically big because theory crafting. It was made specifically with the YouTube community in mind, basically.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this: the art style they went with for this specific Halo Neighbor 2, looks really, really smooth. It looks like its own IP now instead of trying to be everything. It has its ideas very well stated, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have good impressions of the first one, to be honest. But I'm surprised that they decided to do another one.
All right.
But,
Next up, we have, no joke, one of my most hyped games. Seriously, this looks incredible. A game called Balan Wonderworld. I don't even know how to explain this to you. Imagine the producers of Sonic trying to make a Super Mario Odyssey, but somehow it not only works, but it's I don't know how to explain this into a podcast format, because it's really hard to explain. I'm watching the trailer right now. It's so colorful. It's so interesting. It looks great. I want this so much. It's a platformer, so Oz, you're really excited for this for sure once you see the trailer, because once
I watched it as soon as you put it down.
yeah, it was like, oh my god, this is so good, and you're gonna control a random guy or girl, you choose, with the Mega Man style ideal of you like putting on a suit and you gain the powers of those suits in a Super Mario Odyssey style world, and it looks great. Why is this on a fucking pre-show and not Tetris? Why? Jesus Christ. And why is this not on the main show instead of Ori and the Will of the Wisps?
no, Ori deserves to be on the main show.
Yeah.
No,
No.
it
Ori
doesn't.
deserves to. Ori deserves to.
No,
It's a bigger
but-
name than this.
Yeah, it
and
is,
it
but
has
it's
the
been-
Legion of Fens.
Yeah, but
I'd
it's
rather
been
see new
released.
games than re-releases.
Yeah, it's a re-release, Jinpachi. It's a
but
re-release for a
still.
while now. No, it's the GTA effect all over again, especially if you have...
Honestly, I don't think there should be a pre-show to begin with.
Yes, I do agree
Well,
with you.
if you're gonna do a pre-show, that's where you show off your re-releases or gameplay footage of stuff or previous trailers.
Yeah.
You don't show new stuff in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Then it's just the normal show. You're just before it.
Okay.
Ironically, the main show would be better if they actually put the things on the pre-show on the main show. But
Yeah. All right.
sad.
So we finally start the main show, and we open up with something really hard to sell for these two fellas over here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say I really loved this. But I see a lot of people online really not liking this. I'm talking, of course, about Halo Infinite. Jinpachi, I know you didn't really like this. Tell me why.
I just look. Halo is a very sad thing because Halo sort of reached its peak with 3, and it has slowly decayed into a husk, and now it's just a corpse that Xbox and Microsoft drag once in a while, like, oh, we have a new Halo and stuff.
I do agree with you when it comes to Halo 4.
I think this is just, you know, it like Oz was saying, it's a corporate game about the other thing. I think it's just like necessary. Oh, we have a new Xbox, let's make a Halo, and there's no, you know, creativity that inspires excitement.
Okay.
So
Oz?
you know.
My feeling is, I think it's actually more of a return to form than the past 2 Halo games have been, or more. I'm just not a huge fan of Halo. Just in terms of like, I've never really been that into it. I love the multiplayer. I love co-op. So like, if that's there, I'll probably play it with my friends. But I would not play it myself. But that's okay because I'm not interested in it. But
Okay.
like, I disagree with Jinpachi saying it's like, you know, it's a new Xbox, let's get a Halo. That's basically the same thing as saying, oh, it's a new Nintendo console, gonna have a Mario. So like, and
But
we
you know,
have a new Zelda, and those things can inspire a lot of creativity. You can't say that Odyssey and Breath of the Wild were not
no, but that's
extremely,
exactly.
but they're
that's
both
exactly
in
my
ways
point.
in terms of the form. So
That's exactly my point. There's a difference between making something just to make it and making something and actually, you know, having effort to make something special.
Okay, so
I don't think this has a lot of effort to make it special.
I do agree with you when it comes to Halo 4. I think Halo 4 was literally a we have an Xbox One, boys. Yeah, no, I know. Let's make a new Halo. Let's cash in. Let's do it. And it really didn't work. It was bad. It was bad. The campaign literally felt like they didn't even make an effort. When you rehash a boss not only once, not only twice, not only 3 times, but 4 fucking times, you're not doing
The
things
really good
right.
boss.
It's not. That's the thing. It's not. My point is, you're sort of right. However, you can say the same when it comes to Super Mario. There have been games like the new Super Mario U, for example, is literally Super Mario
3D
Brothers. It's literally Super Mario Bros. But no, it's literally Super Mario Bros. With slightly better graphics and better animations. My point is, but then they create Super Mario Odyssey, and you're like, damn, this is a really good game. And then Zelda changes the environment by giving you a really cool open world game. And Halo Infinite sounds like it's trying to tell a cohesive, not just Michael Bay story, like they tried
I don't
doing
even care
with
if it is a Michael Bay story. If the gameplay is fun, the gameplay is fun.
The gameplay on that game seems different, but as in we're evolving different. The weapons got a complete rework. The graphics did not impress me, but I don't think that's the point of a Halo game, the graphics impressing me, but more like the environments were actually really cool when well choreographed, and like they're trying. You know, the grappling hook is a different idea, even though I think it's a bit clunky. I think it's a really interesting idea, and it's still early access. They did say that this is just a work in progress. Everything is connecting for me, right? There was nothing that I saw in that demo that I was like, what the fuck? But that's not the point. A COD game is not supposed to make me go, what the fuck? The COD game is supposed to entertain me on its multiplayer. And it happens to also have a really good story, like Modern Warfare does. And I think that's what they're going for here.
It's fun. I wouldn't say it's good. I play Call of Duty games for the story. I don't play multiplayer, so
I enjoyed the Modern Warfare story. I don't think it's.
no, I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's
And the
Yeah. What were we saying?
I think Black Ops has an amazing story.
I think
Modern Warfare is just more typical like this.
No, it's not. It's trying to target a lot of personal stuff with war. I think they're not to the point where you can say it's incredible. It's a God of War style story.
It's okay. It's okay.
But they're improving it, and I think that's really good. No specifics on when it comes. We do know it's coming this year, and that's gonna be a theme on the main show on almost every single game here. We don't know exactly the specifics of it, but we know it's coming around this year if they don't get delayed. So next up we have State of Decay 3. We don't really have any details. I'm personally not caring about this. It's
I didn't even know there was a sequel, like a 2. I didn't even care.
Good. Trust me on good. Jinbachi?
I think they should just leave it alone.
Agreed.
Because I don't think anyone's excited for this.
State of Decay, more like State of Delay.
State of Decay 2.
Oh,
I played it with my girlfriend. It's bad. It's all the tropes that you're tired from open world games mass into one. Micromanaging that's pointless. Huge sprawls of nothingness in their open worlds. No reason whatsoever to care for any character. I don't like it.
But you love Death Stranding. I'm putting that out there.
But at least that Stranding has a really cohesive and an interesting story, and what the fuck moments that make you want to.
I don't think you. I don't. You're using that word. I don't think you know what it means.
I think I understand what cohesive is. A story that makes sense. Yes.
Okay, moving on.
No, but comparing that Stranding to a game like this is completely different. The world feels empty on that Stranding, but that's the purpose. That's the point. Here, they wanted the world to feel unique and alive. But
go on.
Yeah, go on. Forza Motorsports.
Go on.
Moving on.
Yes, move on.
All right. Okay. All right.
If you like car games, you'll love this car game.
Yeah.
But you don't watch this.
Neither of us three really care about car games that much. I'm a really big sucker for Forza Horizon. If this was Forza Horizon, I'd be talking about it. But I'm not really a fan of the motorsport series. Not a car guy myself, but I like just traversing the world on cars. That's fine for me. But not on this one. I don't care. I just don't care. And there wasn't even any gameplay on it. We just gotta be, straight with you. Just a teaser. Next up, one of Javai's favorite teasers there. Everwild.
I'm excited, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, none of us know what it is, but it looks really, really original. It looks like straight out.
I know people are gonna be pitchforking me for saying this, but I am cautious because Rare is making it. I'm sorry, they don't have a great track record recently, and I'm gonna say it. I don't think Banjo-Kazooie is that good.
Damn.
I think Donkey Kong 64 is a better game. Moving on.
Damn. Okay. I mean, it's a good game, but damn. Poor Banjo-Kazooie, man.
I just don't think it's as good as everyone says it is.
Suck
I don't think.
Oz!
You know what my favorite Banjo-Kazooie game is?
No.
No, I will agree though that there are some. They haven't been having a lot of amazing
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
games
That's a great game.
lately. I'm just saying lately. Lately.
Yeah, lately.
Although I do want the new Battletoads.
They did pull a comeback. They did pull a comeback on Sea of Thieves,
Battletoads.
and I think that they deserve at least a pat in the back because Sea of Thieves was a complete failure at the beginning, and Sea of Thieves now is actually really filled with content and how it should be from the beginning.
I typically don't go, good job, designer, you fucked up, but then you find I don't do the same thing for No Man's Sky. Like, I mean, No Man's Sky is a better game now, and I'm glad it is, but I'm still not gonna say that
Yeah.
first game was not as good as I wanted it
Yeah.
to.
But at least
Yeah.
at least they stuck with it and they changed it and they improved it. At least that. So it remains to be seen. Honestly, we don't know that many details about it, but I really like the animation. I really like the idea they're going for here of nature plus you, and that's basically the entire game. Yeah, I'm all aboard for it. Next up, we have Tell Me Why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing.
All right,
And
let's calm down with the copyright strikes there.
No, I can sing it. I can sing it. We just can't play.
No.
Well,
YouTube
yeah.
algorithm does pull copyright strikes up your ass, even when you just sing the lyrics of it. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's a cover. It's an original.
Okay,
Yeah,
so tell me why. Which my girlfriend told me. I had no idea about this. That the male, the sibling that is a male is actually transsexual male.
Yes,
I had
this is
no idea.
being worked on with Glad.
Cool.
I had no idea. Like,
Yeah.
Great representation.
yeah.
It's the first ever playable character that's transgender from a studio, from a major studio.
I had
from
no
a-
idea. Yeah, cool. Very cool. Finally.
Unfortunately, it's being made by the people of that made Life is Strange, so I'm sure it'll be awful. So I don't like Life is Strange. It's stupid.
I my opinion on Life is Strange isn't that, negative, but I do think that it's very.
Overhyped.
Oh, I'm a teenager, and that's how
I think
deep
it's
the story
overhyped.
It's a bunch of like older
I'm
people
a
saying, "This is what
teenager."
teenagers are like," and I'm like,
I
"No, not."
am a teenager, and that's the whole game.
Okay,
But
so
with
that's-
superpowers.
I liked it too, but I agree with you too. Finally, something we agree on, and it's the thing I would never think we would agree on. I liked Like It's Strange. I liked Life is Strange. I think Life is Strange is a really decent game, but I think it's not as good as people say it is. However,
And this does have that vibe. It's not like we're just being, we're not treating the game poorly for the past. This one seems like it's gonna be something.
but I'm not hyped for it.
So
You want to know why?
why?
Because I said it's Life is Strange 3. And it looked like Life is Strange 3. They're
know,
trying to tell
right?
a completely different story and with a completely different set of characters, with a completely different world, apparently, right? Completely new IP. And they still have these supernatural apparitions happening everywhere. And I'm like, so you're not trying to create something new or just create something more unique. You're just kind of going.
Yeah.
You just
telling-
don't want to involve the past games.
Yeah,
even though it's
I just don't want to evolve the
Yeah.
game. That's basically what you're doing. So I'm,
I don't know. Like, I'm glad that there's representation in the trans community. I wish it was in a better game.
Basically.
I'm not gonna judge the game all that much. I'm not hyped for it, but I think it might do well. I think people that are fans of Life is Strange
Hey.
are gonna like this.
It's probably gonna be a better teenage experience than that dinosaur thing that Sony presented it.
True.
I don't even know. That was
True.
so creepy.
The burger stuff dinosaur.
No, not
Not the burger one.
burger?
Wait.
the dinosaurs with there's like college or high school.
Oh, no,
yeah,
oh
no.
yeah, that one. Okay,
You
well,
know, that one is just
With
what
your,
the
with
hell
your
is
sca-
that?
scalies.
I'm not excited for that, but I see why it
So-
exists. Moving on,
Dinosaur one or this one?
both.
I'm glad.
actually.
I'm glad the people that enjoy that will have their game. I think
Yes.
it's trash.
Okay, so next up we have, the second point of criticism that I have here, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Should we call this a remaster? They didn't call this a remaster.
It's the Gears, not the Gears, the GTA of this conference.
It's like,
Okay, but why is it here?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Listen,
And unlike Sony, they put it in the middle.
yeah,
Yeah, at
instead
least
of the
Sony like
beginning.
opened with it and was like, "All right, now that's out of the way."
yeah. This really didn't
Exactly.
work. To
Yeah,
begin
this
with,
is-
this is
They don't even say it's a remaster; they just say it's a version. So
yeah. Like
whatever
first of
that
all,
means,
it's a side scroller game. I understand there's precise controls on it, but especially on a platformer game, you're not gonna see the difference between 60 and 120 hertz all that much. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. 4K, I would understand 4K on something like Crisis or something like something that's really trying to go for big boy realistic graphics, but this is animated graphics. Going 4K or going normal 1920 or even going 720p, the difference is not that big. So I don't understand a single thing on why this exists. Maybe the new audio technology, that's the only point I'm like, sure, especially soundtracks and audio cues in a game like this really matter. I get it. The rest,
I will say it does make a difference, but it's not.
It's a minimalistic difference.
It's a minimalistic difference when we're talking about a video game that's probably going to be just a little bit more.
It's a minimalistic difference for people, because like the 120 hertz and the 4K HDR are wonderful, but people are already doing that on PC.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want, if I have a new console, again, it's another one of, I have a new console and I have a PC that can already play it like the console can, but probably better. Like, why did they even show this off?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like.
Don't get me wrong. I think I speak for us all here. It's not that they did this because, good job. Especially because they said if you own the game, you get the upgrade for free, no problem whatsoever, right? Sure.
Lovely.
Good job. Lovely. Absolutely great. At the very best, this is pre-show material. This is not main show, middle. After you displayed arguably 3 games that everyone was excited for, Halo, Forza, even though it's not for us, and Everwild, and arguably even tell me why, right? After all these juggernauts, you go with, or in the Will of the Wisps. New one?
And again, going with the GTA thing. GTA, it's a GTA Online. It's something that continues. Ori is a single-player game. Once you beat it, you're not going to really come back to it. So...
Yeah.
No.
Now, next up, however, I saw a lot of people that really didn't like this because it's basically an expansion being displayed here. I'm going to be honest with you. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm a big fan of The Outer Worlds. I could go even as far as to say it's as it in my heart it's as good as the Fallout series. So that's
the best
already
Fallout game was made by Obsidian. It's New Vegas. Moving on.
I think it's better than New Vegas, to be honest with you. And when I saw this, I thought it was going to be a sequel to The Outer Worlds, which got me a bit worried. But no, it's a fully fledged expansion, just like they usually do with the Witcher series. And I'm totally on board with this because it looks absolutely gorgeous, and the humor is there, but in a completely different environment, and it looks really original. I'm really excited for this expansion. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna play the hell out of this.
And look, comparing it even to Fallout, like Fallout, when they have those expansions, like Fallout 3 had great expansions, so that are worthy the experience alone. So I don't think there's a problem with announcing this. I think it's good.
I think Outer Worlds is actually less like Fallout and more like Borderlands comparison, and I like Outer Worlds a lot more than Borderlands.
And Borderlands also has pretty good, standalone things. So
I'm really excited for this. And you want to know the best part? This DLC is going to be free with Xbox Game Pass. The base game is already free. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be played on the Xbox Game Pass for free. Spaghetti. I can't wait for this. Next up, we have my favorite... no joke. My favorite trailer from the entire goddamn conference. I don't do this, but I'm going to play the first 20 seconds of the trailer. You guys do it with me.
You're really teasing YouTube with this.
This is fine. This is press.
Well, this is how you do it. See, this is how you do it. You put multiple things for copyright, so they all have to fight over it.
They're all confused. What we should do.
This is press. This is free press, so it's fine. So let's all do it at the same time, okay? Let's watch the first 25 seconds of this. I'll give you the link. I'll put it over here. There you go.
It's great. Well, also Obsidian.
Yeah, also Obsidian.
Obsidian, 3 games, and I'm excited for all of them.
And this one comes
I
out
love
in 3 days or 4, right? No,
Mhm.
something like that. I don't know. Okay, so I'll do 3, 2, 1, and then when I say go, we all play at the same time. First 25 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But if you're ready for
That's it. No, that's it. It's
Yeah.
We don't need to do anything.
That's
That is
the
a lot of
best.
self-awareness, and I love it.
I love
That's
it.
a
I
good
absolutely love. It's not only that. It does do gags. It does do more gags in this. It's a trailer
Excuse me.
of a game that doesn't take itself too serious, and I love trailers like this. I'm a sucker for that. When it comes to the game itself, it's been announced for a while now, and I've been hesitant to call this something that I would really seriously play, but I then found out that this is not a PvP game because I was really afraid this was going to be a Rust style game. No, it's just
Exactly.
no, this is a 4-player co-op game where you're in a yard and you just have to survive. There's no PvP elements to it. You can kill each other, but that's definitely not the point. So
Right, for hilarity.
The concept is pretty smart.
the concept is pretty smart. You're basically a small person, like an ant living in a backyard, and your weapons are like weapons like pencils.
There's also
and
Battletoads reference in there.
Battletoads references. Not just that, and the trailer was very self-aware and very quirky and funny. I'm really excited to do a let's play on this. Spoiler alert. So that's definitely one of the games we're gonna do.
It's already pre-installed.
All right. Next up, we have Avowed. Again, Obsidian.
I'm excited. It's the game I'm most excited for.
So basically, they did the Fallout series, and then they thought, well, I think people are really liking this game. How about we do the Elder Scrolls too? And that's basically it. It's gonna be kind of an Elder Scrolls game, but made by
It's
Obsidian.
set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. Because you want to know.
So basically, Elder Scrolls, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Next up, we have a very short revival of the Telltale games, As Dusk Falls. I don't really care for much about this game because it revolves about a story about a heist, and I'm not really a heist type of guy. But I'll say this: the animations look really, really cool. The voice acting looks very decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interactive drama. I don't really like the genre.
Same here.
It's made by the one of the Quantic Dreams guy. So let's see. I think that idea sort of peaked with Heavy Rain, but
that's saying a lot because Heavy Rain is supposed to be the starter of those, but
Peaked with Indigo Prophecy.
yeah.
in a sense it did, didn't it?
Indigo Prophecy was much better.
It peaked with the intro to Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah. Okay. So
In
next
the
up,
bathroom. That's so good.
we have a little diary from the making of Hellblade 2. No one really looked at that. It wasn't really any footage on this new trailer, but like we know it takes place on Iceland, and that's basically it. But next up, I know I was really excited about this one, Psychonauts 2.
I've been waiting years.
So, I was excited for Psychonauts 2, but now I'm extra excited knowing that Jack Black did the soundtrack for this game.
Yeah.
The trailer was just
Have you played Brutal Legend? I want them to remake that game. Xbox, if you're listening, please, I will pay all money if you remake or make a sequel.
Yeah. Brutal Legend is very underrated.
very underrated. Very, very underrated.
Undercooked, but underrated as well.
The gameplay trailer was really psychedelic. Literally opens up as there's a brain in a jar and you put a door in. It's basically to get into the the brain's dreams, and it's just weirdness and weirdness. Psychonauts, the Psychonauts universe. I know I played the first one, but it's just weirdness, and weirdness is what you want on a Psychonauts game, which is a game about you getting into people's dreams. So thank God it's weird. Okay, don't take yourself serious. And if you have Jack Black on your team and James Willems from Funhouse voicing one of the characters, you know it's going to be a good game. I have complete faith on this. Jinpachi?
I still need to play the first one.
God damn it. Play it on your PC.
That
Do not-
said,
Not play it on your PlayStation. That
God.
that version is jank, but I still played it.
What, PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3?
The PlayStation 4 version is
Oh.
jank.
I don't even have that. But
Yeah, don't play it.
I still.
PlayStation 2 version.
You know what?
PC
I think
I-
I have it. I think I have the game because it came with like a magazine,
B
a video
Gamer.
game magazine that we used to have. Yeah, rest in peace, B Gamer. And I have it around. There it is.
I was gonna say Psychonauts is my
Here we go.
Skyrim in the sense that I
There
own
we
it
go.
on everything.
Psychonauts is on Switch.
So yeah, I have to play this.
Well, I'll be buying it for Switch. I didn't know that, but now I do.
There you
That
go,
said,
buddy.
I am interested in playing the first one because of this announcement, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's the best thing I can say.
It's a game that, again, doesn't take itself too serious, and it's a hidden gem, in my opinion. It's not hidden anymore because, we're getting a sequel, and you got this played on Microsoft, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the best game that's like that Double Fine ever made, and the VR game is also really good too.
Excuse me?
The Rhombus of Ruin. Yeah, it's a PlayStation VR.
Nah, okay. PlayStation VR. There you go. That's why I don't know about it. Next up, we have Destiny 2 Beyond Light. I'm going to be honest with you. My hype for Destiny 2 died a long time ago. I used to be a Destiny 2 guy, but not anymore. It's just, I get it why people like it. I'm going to be honest with you. The trailer looked really, really cool. I do follow the story, and the story really interests me there. But, again, I get it why it's there. Fine. Guys?
Eh.
Yeah,
Eh.
exactly. Exactly. We all share the same similarities here. Next up, we have Stalker 2.
Yeah,
Hold up a minute.
that was I think my biggest high point of this. I was really excited.
It came out of left field. Like,
Yeah.
there was we had no idea this was coming out. We all thought it was a dead IP for years now, and out of nowhere, bam, Stalker 2. I jumped off my chair. I really like Stalker. I finished the first Stalker game. We don't talk about the second one, and as you can see, the developers also don't talk about the second one.
What second game?
It's kind of more an expansion that's standalone than anything else. But the first one was really, really great. The second one, not really. But my point is, it's really good. It hasn't aged that well, but what's there was revolutionary, and it's interesting, and I'm really, really glad it's getting a second try at it. Next up, we have the second most surprised game out of them all, Warhammer 40,000.
40K. Dark Tide. So excited.
Really? Because there's been an attempt at a first-person shooter from the Warhammer series.
I know. I played it.
I played it too, and I think it was.
Well,
Warhammer
I mean,
Vermintide. That was cool.
That was cool.
Remember
Warhammer Vermintide was cool, but there was another attempt at a first-person shooter.
Right. The people that are making this are the people that made Vermintide.
Okay.
So,
That's a good
and it's not. I love the Space Marines. I'm a huge Warhammer fan, both of 40K and the original, not Age of Sigmar, the original. If you guys want to do a Warhammer podcast, I will talk about it for hours. But I like that it's Imperial Guard, far more interesting than Space Marines, because Space Marines are like, hey, we're super soldiers in giant armor, let's just kill everything. And this is more like, oh god, we don't have our millions of people that we normally have to deal with these things.
Okay,
It's really
so not a Warhammer guy, except Warhammer Total War. I really like that game. I think it's a really cool game. But I gotta say, if it's made by the same people that made Vermintide, which I wasn't aware of, It seems really dark. It seems really interesting. It might be the first-person shooter from the Warhammer franchise that I kind of was expecting. Let's see.
Yep.
Let's see. Next up, however, we have the lowest point by far, in my opinion, even worse than Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
And that means a lot.
That means a lot. And this is coming from a guy that has Tetris on the Switch. Tetris Effect. And why was this bad? Because
it's the best VR game I've ever. One of the best VR games I've ever played. But why is it here?
Listen to me. I don't use this. I swear, I don't use this word. This trailer was so cringe. Like, oh my god, stop. Please stop. Because here's the thing. They open up. This looked like a presentation like Bethesda does. Like, we really like our games. We really like developing our games. We love Billy over there that plays Fallout 4. And it's just a trailer hyping up for the conference, right? This felt like that in the middle of a conference, but it was like, it was even worse because it's like, look at that old man. He's a gamer. Look. It's a classic white man. Guess what? He's also a gamer. Asian dude? Gamer. Black man with a daughter, I might add. Gamer. All of these guys. Gamers. Introducing Tetris Effect. There you go. All right. Good job, boys. We did
Oh my god, it's Tetris.
Wait. Connected.
Connected.
Oh my god, it's connected.
Oh
Wait,
my god.
no,
Connected.
confirmed. There will be the Xbox Connect. It's coming.
Oh my god, no.
Really didn't care. I really didn't care.
And again, this is so weird because they could have just put all the re-releases together, but they didn't. They spread them out to just break the rhythm every time they showed up.
Yeah.
Every time you're talking about something, they're like, and now to kick
And
you.
I still think when I see the Tetris movie, I'll be even more baffled than this. So.
I thought that was a real thing that right then, and I was like, I'm about to lose my mind. What do you make a movie about?
But they did make an emoji movie. Next up, we have the Gunk.
Yeah, so
I'm excited about it. It looks good.
It
all I'm
looks
gonna
like non-copyrighted Luigi Dimension, but without its charm.
Mm,
The point is literally the same. It's sucky. You're sucking the goo instead of sucking ghosts.
actually, I feel it's more of a Xbox's Ratchet and Clank. Just looking at the gameplay, even though you're vacuuming stuff, just the running and the look of it.
Yeah, I guess so, but I'm not excited about it.
I am.
I'm not. Well,
It's on my top.
Jinpachi?
I'm not excited either, to be
Okay.
honest.
Next up, we have the Medium. Now, here's the thing. It might be for you, but for me, this is the most excited game out of the entirety of the games announced. Even surpassing Halo. And I'm a big Halo fanboy. Let me tell you why.
Hey, I'm with you, man. Because
Okay,
Horror,
first of all,
horror.
we need good horror games. Second of all, on the first presentation for Microsoft, they showed the trailer for this game, and they confirmed that the composer for this game is the same composer that did Silent Hill 2. Number 3, it's from the same developers that did Layers of Fear, which is one of the very few games that still can be called horror these days. Number 4, the idea of playing around with two completely different environments on the same exact level was tried by Disarmed on a very small portion of a level, and I wish that was the entire game, and that's basically what the Medium is. And it's looking up to be a Silent Hill, but optimized with much better graphics. And I just miss a good Silent Hill game, and this is shaping out to be something of the sort. So I'm really excited for this game. I have high hopes for it, and I know I shouldn't.
And it's inspired by Bakinski, I think that's how you say it, paintings. And if you look those paintings up, they are so amazing, beautiful, and creepy. And please, yes.
Don't fuck this up. Please.
Please.
I want this. Us.
I'm just saying,
Okay. Next up, we have New
damn
Genesis Phantasy Star Online 2. Now, when I first saw this, I completely missed POS2 at the beginning. So I was like, wait, Xenoblade Chronicles? No, it can't be. But then they say it's Phantasy Star Online 2. Then I thought it was an expansion, like you probably think right now. Turns out, this is a not a remake, but like a completely new game from the from the Phantasy Star Online 2 franchise, and it's going to be an MMO just like the predecessor. And the thing that cuts me from playing Phantasy Star Online, first of all, is I can't find the fucking launcher, and second of all, I think it's
a nightmare.
yeah. Second of all, I don't think it's really aged well, especially in its microtransactions and stuff like that. So this might just be the reason why I might try Phantasy Star Online. It's coming in 2021, so I'm really excited for it. Guys, what do you say about it?
I hope that I'm able to play it when it comes out, as opposed to spending hours and days trying to log in because the Microsoft Store was made by chimpanzees.
Next up, we have, well, dare I say, the weirdest crossover that I've ever seen. You see what I did there? Crossfire? Crossover? Sorry.
Boycott Xbox!
And the reason why Jalvai really doesn't like this conference. Crossfire X. So, Crossfire X. Crossfire, as a whole, is a free-to-play game that's really old and really plagued with microtransactions.
This is so weird.
Yeah. And so, Microsoft looked at that and was like, yes, I want more, but made by us. So they made kind of a Call of Duty game, and it actually really looks great. But to make things even more weird, to make things even more weird, right? This is an Xbox exclusive. No PC. It's the only game out of them all that was not on PC.
Yes.
A first-person shooter.
Specifically the one that they were saying was not gonna happen to. So we're all like, what?
A game that became popular for PC players that wanted a cheap Counter-Strike is not coming to PC. Because this is the exclusive that is going to bring everyone to buy Xboxes.
And to mind boggle people even more, it has a fucking campaign.
And by the way, apparently it's gonna have a movie adaptation.
And you want to know something?
I'm sure it's gonna be great.
I loved the trailer. I actually enjoyed the trailer a lot. What is this? Put it on PC, you cunts.
I don't know. Is Metin? I don't know. Metin 2. I don't know.
Metin 2.
Let's make Metin X. Let's go here to Facebook and say Storm of Wars X, and let's.
Here's the thing: it's a first-person shooter made by Remedy, who were the people that made Control and Alan Wake. But here's the thing that boggles the mind: the best part of Control and Alan Wake was not the shooting. It was the environment and the puzzle.
This is so weird because it's it's one of those old cheesy games that they sucked even when they were popular. Like, why are you even picking this up? Who thought? Oh yeah,
and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for. I said it, boys. I'm excited for it. I really am. If you see the trailer, it has human military. When was the last time you heard me say the military there looked human? Like, as in storytelling, human. Like, they're not like big muscles. Who?
I mean, they had like, nah.
It's made by Remedy. Remedy does make good stories. They might not do great shooting, even though Control does have really good shooting.
Here's the thing. This is not gonna just be a campaign. This is gonna be like a multiplayer game. You know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be a good game.
And why is it not on PC? Why is it that
because it's gonna sell Xboxes.
I think
what's
it's gonna be a fantastic game, but I don't know why is this the exclusive?
Yeah, I know. So
the marketing.
Halo, that's been an exclusive forever. Finally comes to PC, and Crossfire, a game that's been always on PC, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, we don't want anything to do with that. Please make it for PC. Stop being this bitchy. Listen to your community. I saw how Jalvi reacted. He wanted to blow up a fucking barrel of gasoline, not on Microsoft, but just individually, with how much exploding rage he had. This makes no sense. No, none whatsoever. And to wrap things up, finishing on a kind of a good thing, Fable.
I'm excited for Fable.
I'm excited.
Mostly
I'm surprised, but I'm excited too.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna play it.
This is the good comeback. Crossfire is
Hopefully.
just, I don't know what the hell.
Hopefully.
After
Or it'll be a hilarious dumpster fire.
After almost 2 hours, we did it, boys.
Well,
We did it.
the games to
Damn
go.
it.
We still have the upcoming games, but that's
So many.
I mean, we can speed run that.
yeah.
Rapid
It's we're not gonna completely talk about this. Fuck. All right. So upcoming games. Let's go on.
All right, so the first one on July 28th is a game called Ageless for the PC and Switch. It's a story-driven puzzle platformer where you must alter the age of animals and plant life around you to progress. It looks fun. You got a bow.
Then we have Destroy All Humans, the remake of one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 2. You can play as an alien that can kill humans, yes, and take control of humans and throw cows through the air. It's just mindless alien fun. It's the best alien thing there is in the world. I love it. Coming July 28th on the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Next up, we have the game we talked about on the press conference, Grounded. It's literally coming out on July 28th, literally in 2 days. I'm actually really excited to play. Pre-installed it now, too. Oz?
Also coming out on the 28th for PC, PS4, and Xbox One is Made of Scare. More like Made of Scare, because it's a horror game and it looks pretty. It's a first-person horror game. There you go. That's literally all I know from it.
Okay.
Up next, we have the launch of the very first season of Rocket Arena. A new hero, tons of unlockable outfits, totems, rocket fuel rewards, and more. And you can also grab the Blast Pass for an extra boost and win more items. So if you're a Rocket Arena fan, or if you just want to get into it now, you can on July 28th on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Don't do it. Skater X. This should be a fucking free-to-play game. I'm gonna be honest with you. This, I would play this. I was really excited for this until I found out it costs more than 40 euros, and it makes no sense because it has a season pass. Ubisoft, stop messing up my game. Sorry.
And there's gonna be another Tony Hawk game. So.
Next up, it was supposed to be for the people, but for the people.
I think you messed up your mic.
Yeah, your mic died heavily.
Hello?
No.
Hello? Wow.
Oh.
Sorry
There we
about
go,
that.
okay.
I was so enraged by Ubisoft that it messed up my. So, next up, we're supposed to have a game called For the People, but said.
It's still screwing it all over.
Oh wait! Also, For the People is after Terrorarium. It's a 3D puzzle platformer, wanted destruction and adorable gore. That's a weird way of saying that. That's coming out on the 20th for PC.
Up next, we have a game called Blight Bound multiplayer dungeon crawler. You can play up to 3 players. It's already on early access, but now officially coming out. 29th of July. And by the way, you can play it for free right now until 15 hours from now. So go play the beta if you want to.
Now it's for the people. Oh, nope, muted. Completely muted. No sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. For the People is a game that's
For the people. Yeah. Right,
and then I believe it was delayed. Not if blink twice if it was
hello.
delayed.
Hello, yes.
Okay, so For the People was supposed to come out on the 28th. No, For the People was supposed to come out on the 30th. I'm messing this up in the end. Dear me, dear God. But it got postponed for in around 2 weeks, basically.
Cool.
So let's move on.
Speaking of games that were delayed, Hellpoint. I talked about this a couple of months ago, I realize. It's a Dark Souls-like action RPG where it's like also kind of Warhammer. Like, because it's got Gothic horror and technology. And guns and swords. It's coming out on the 30th, hopefully, for PS4, PC, and Xbox One and Switch.
And then we have Imperiums, Greek Wars. It's a turn-based strategy game, overhead view. You know, sort of like Total War, but not like Total War because you don't have a lot of battles in the scale of Total War. I don't know. It looks interesting. It's coming out July 30th on PC.
Next up, we have Necronator Dead Wrong, which was what I was a few minutes ago. Dead Wrong is a comedic macro RTS game with a deck building twists, where you deploy undead to build armies and basically destroy the main objective. It's also a what's it called when it's randomly generated?
Randomly generated.
Yeah, it's also randomly generated, so there's a lot of replayability. It's coming out on July 30th on PC.
Also, on July 30th for PS4 is the Nioh 2 Tengu's Disciple DLC. Nioh 2 is a good game. The DLC looks like it's also going to be good. So buy it if you like Nioh 2.
Please buy it.
Please.
Up next, we have, this is such a weird fucking thing. What happened, man? What happened is a nightmarish first-person game about a high school student that has anxiety and depression. By the way, I just have to read this because this is so fucked up. I think this is going to be a very problematic game. This game is not appropriate for all ages. The main character sometimes uses sharp objects to self-harm, takes drugs to enter other realms, and depending on the player's actions, there may be a non-graphic depiction of suicide. What the fuck is this game? You can find out if you want to on the July 30th.
Alright, so we're going the 13 reasons why route over here.
Yes, but
taking drugs to go to
way.
realms could be interesting by itself, but with everything else, it's probably not.
Yeah,
It's a weird thing.
It's not gonna land that well. I'm gonna tell you that much.
This is very weird. Anyways, next.
Next up, we have Yakuza Kiwami. I hope I pronounced that right. 2, which is coming on July 30th. Oh, you want the description of the game? Just play any Yakuza game. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna want to play it. Please play Yakuza games. I want them to be as made as Call of Duty games every year. And without a purpose, because they don't need one. They're just great.
They're just not released in the United States.
Yeah, they're just pure fun. The developers really have fun with that. So play the Yakuza Kiwami, please. Please buy it. It's coming on July 30th on PC and Xbox. No PS4.
Also coming on July 31st for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch is Castle Storm 2. Yeah, it basically a console phone game. To me, it feels a lot like a phone game.
It's
Yeah.
Some people like it.
Up next.
Can I just say, it's
From-
really funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, from a suicide simulation game to a very cute, friendly Cat Quest. The Possum Pack is basically Cat Quest 1 and Cat Quest 2, which, is a
Bundle.
fluffy action role-playing video game from a top-down perspective, similar to Dragon Quest, and it's coming out July 31 on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch.
And finally wrapping up. So many games coming out this week. We have Fairy Tail. If you never watched the anime, go watch it, pretty please. And tell me how many times you cried in 20 episodes. Oh my god.
It also has very cute cat.
Yeah, it also has very cute cats. And very not so good sexualization of women that didn't
That
really
is
age
right.
well.
It's a very weird anime for that. It's just giant boobs.
It just didn't age well in that department. I'll tell you that much.
It didn't age well even when it came out.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was uncomfortable, but it's weird when people go, and they watch Kill la Kill, because Kill la Kill.
Yeah. It's like the
I love
weirdest
Kill la
thing.
Kill.
I have to like when they do the arc in Fairy Tail where they go to the cat world.
Oh my god, it was a
Where-
filler arc. We don't talk about it.
But the ending was
It's
really
so-
solid.
No, I like the arc overall, but here's the thing. In the end, they basically have like mirrors of each character, right? They're, alternate universe things.
Furries, they're personas. I know what it is.
Yeah. When Erza and Urza fight each other, the fight ends with them just, like a small piece of clothing over the nipples. And that's so weird! Like, oh my god, stop. Fairy Tail.
If there's females fighting other females, it's ending with them with torn clothes. It's a really.
But there's torn
But this
clothes.
RPG looks good.
And there's torn clothes, and Erza in particular is a character with a lot of fucking boobs, okay?
Yes.
Lucy too. Lucy even worse, I think, because they actually played
goodness.
the perverted sexual jokes there
Yes.
with her. But
Anyways.
with all of that, believe me on
It's
what I
still
say.
a good anime.
It's
still a good anime.
really, really good. It's one of the best animes out there when it comes to actual, in-depth feelings. It's so good. But
It's a very good
The filler
story.
arcs are so bad.
the filler arcs are
They
really bad, I'll
are.
say. But the main story is really, really solid.
And the song is amazing. The soundtrack's
I still listen to it every day. Regardless, the game shaping out to be really, really solid. It's going to be a Dragon Quest style game, which, in my
Also
opinion, wasn't really a good idea. But while I'm saying that it looks really, really great. Looks like a really solid game. Not like one of those cash grabs that you usually see, for example, on Naruto. One or two Naruto games are really good, and the other ones.
I love the Naruto.
Yeah.
But my point is, they don't look like they just copy and paste a lot of stuff like the One Piece games. Is that better?
Those games are bad, which
Yeah.
they shouldn't be.
Yeah, like the One Piece game. No, it looks like a fully fledged RPG, which it is what you should do when it comes to anime games like this. So it's coming out on PC, PS4, and surprisingly Switch on July 31st, basically. And that's it.
Cool.
That's the end of the podcast. We literally hit the 2-hour mark right now. I am feeling exhausted. Everyone's feeling exhausted, probably. Thank you so much for watching.
Brawlhalla later.
Playing Brawlhalla later in 2 hours, actually. Oh my god. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate that. If you could leave a like, if you can leave a little subscription, maybe comment your favorite character. That's me.
Friends to watch our stuff.
We did get banned. We survived.
Well, don't say that.
Let's wrap this up quickly.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
I
Goodbye, everyone.
I feel YouTube coming. Bye. Let's run away.
Goodbye.
I'm out.